Hey, 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 it is Friday, October 6th, right here on the West Coast, Pacific Standard Time. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective, as people, let's get past martial artists, martial arts instructor, small business owner. Let's just talk about being people, right? And getting through this thing called life. There's nothing more valuable than family, our friends, our community, right? I mean, we're all trying to make more money and earn more money and do that. And I get that. I totally understand that. Me and Marco just had a short conversation and it was about that. I'm generating more wealth than I ever have in my whole life. But the things that become even more important is my time with my kids, my time with my family, to help my team achieve their dreams. If I can pay them any amount of money, I would. I would. I want to. I want to get to that point so they can have the same type of lifestyle that I experience. They've earned it. And it can't simply be based upon a sales script. It can't simply be based upon, KPIs. Human beings are not KPIs. Human beings are people and they have different needs. I was watching a Gary Vee video about that this morning where he said, you know, take care of your employees. Some people need money. Some people need time off. Some people need to be validated with a title. Understand your employees, understand their needs, and support their needs. Really, we had a young man come back after 2 years, and I realized in hindsight, even though he was young and started teaching really young, he left when he was about 20 and he's back now, but we burnt this kid out. We're in the middle of this pandemic and we had our heads down. And I'll admit it, as a level 5 leader, I had my head down. I had no time to take care of people. As my mom would say, I don't have to wipe your butt. You're a full grown man. And I had my head down. And I realized that as we're nurturing him back in now, we were so considerate. Are you ready to lead this class? How many hours a week do you want? What do you want to be paid? We have a deeper sense of people. I won't say just team and employees. We have a deeper sense of people. Well, at least I do as a level 5 leader. And I want to continue to cultivate that. And I believe in the martial arts industry, for many infractions, it's one of the most overlooked things. I'm the master. You're the lowly student. You're lucky you get to train with me and you get to teach for free. And that's an upgrade, by the way. We call it leadership program. I'm just not into any of that. And I'm not. And I'm very candid. I'm not saying it's wrong. See, that's where people mistake me. I'm not saying it's wrong. It might be perfectly fine for your school, your academy, your dojo. For me, right? What's one man's treasure is another man's garbage. That's all. So I hope people don't take that out of context. So let's thank our sponsors. Who do we got? Who do we got? Who do we got? And as you come aboard, say hello. I want to know that you're here. Tell me the name of your school, where you're tuning in from, okay? Where are you tuning in from? Who's here today? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Who do we have? Tusaw, Market Muscles, My Studios, Kids of Life Skills, LC Accounting, all services that I use. Had a great conversation with Stephen Reinstein this week. And one of the comments have been, how come Stephen Reinstein dropped Pulse? And they just realized, it's not our forte. It's not what we do. And sure, it would have been another revenue stream, but really it didn't make sense. And I applauded Stephen. I applauded him for that, right? Sometimes when we take a cut in pay, get out of a relationship, change jobs, we feel like we're stepping backwards. I don't think so. Sometimes we step backwards. It's like a slingshot, right? You pull that rubber band back as you can, then you release it and you fly forward. I think it's the same thing here. I believe Market Muscles is going to be a better product than it's ever been for everybody in our industry now that there isn't the weight or challenge of creating Pulse and sustaining it. I don't think Steven's a failure because of it. He is smart. He is a smart, values-based person. Think about it. How many Starbucks open up every year and close, right? That's smart business. If I had an ailing academy that I didn't have the manpower, the resource, I would close it. I have no challenge with that, right? Yet we hold on to these businesses like they're this proverbial godchild, right? For the lack of a better word. And we think it's the end all be all. And when the day's done, on paper, it's just another business to the bank. It's just another business to the, Small Business Association when they loan you money, on and on. Let's see, who do we have here? Oh, I gotta use my glasses. because I want to make sure I can see you. Who do we have? Hall of the Snake and Crane. That's a cool name. Wes. Hall of the Snake of Crane. Yeah, that's fun. I don't know if that'll sell to mom with a 6-year-old kid, but I think it's cool for like a Wu-Tang Clan B Kung Fu movie from the 1970s. I cut my teeth watching those movies in the 1970s. And that's what that sounds like. A movie from the 70s. Hail of the Snake and Crane. Bob Poole, Goals Martial Arts. Bob, I sent you we were out of t-shirts, so I sent you an extra large hoodie. I hope you don't mind. I figured to help you out there with the winter. Beautiful. And my gift to you, sir. As you're coming aboard, say hi, say hi, say hi. So what do we got coming up? A couple of things. First of all, It's Time Live Balance, November 11th to 14th, right here, Millbury, California, 5 minutes from the airport. Now, I know a lot of the smaller school owners, you can only stay for 2 days. Do it. Saturday, you get to observe classes. I'll narrate them. We'll have this deep discussion. People want to understand, how in the heck do you have over 1,000 students and generate $2 million annually without contracts, upgrades, belt testing fees, built-in retail, sales scripts? You can witness it yourself. You can witness it. That's why if Letitia's here, let people know, anything I say, I can verify. You want to know that I have 100 students? My studio can vouch for that right now. They can be a third party to look into my studio and verify to you I have 1,000 active students. Letitia, she will happily give you a screenshot of my tax returns last year that said we brought in over, I think, 1.85 million or something. And this year we're on the path to do 2. So we can do that for you, right? And I think that's really important because we live in a world of misinformation and lies. Social media advocates that, right? You talk about deepfake. Somebody can deepfake me right now, and put me riding a unicorn in the middle of Hawaii. And people would believe it's true just because it's a video that's out there. So please, if you want to verify my information, do so. The people that'll be there, Dave Kovar, easily to verify. 8, 9 academies. The instructor, decade after decade after decade, has done some innovative things and continues to do so until this day. That sense of relevancy brings value to me. People come and go in our industry like that, right? Come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go. And people buy into it for a second because they don't have the learning to know what it is they truly need. And I'm going to go deep on that. And then we have Terry Lee. It's a gift to have her. She's going to hang out for 4 days. So everybody in attendance, walk with her on the walking meditation, sit with her at dinner, pick her brain. 800 students, decade after decade after decade. Now, she chose only to do it in one house. And I think that's one of the good reasons to have her here. She's not concerned about 50 schools, right? She does one thing, does it well. It's provided an amazing life for her and her family. And she did it as a single mom. More power to you, Terry. Adam Lodi, new kid on the block. Dojo launch, soon to be Kin Creative. I think with digital media, the platform changes consistently all the time. And what was proven yesterday is obsolete today. So running with young kids like Adam, who are on the tip, who sit there and drink Red Bull, stay up all night, and are just sitting there mining this data, I think it's a good day. And I've been working with them closely in my wisdom program for 6 months. Then, of course, on Tuesday, you people that are here for 4 days, Sam on for wealth building. I am at my highest level of net worth. You want to see it? I'll send you a couple of screenshots of where I am just for the year, right? Sam is a multimillionaire, one school, 127 students. So everything that's here can be proven and verified. And that is very, very important in today's world of made-up, fabricated people. If you've been around the industry as long as I have, how many people have come and gone in digital marketing? Come and gone. How many website companies have come and gone, especially in the tech part? How many consultants have come and gone, or even worse, live in an attitude of complacency and just simply repackage what they've been selling you for 40 years and put a new bow on it? So It's Time Life Balance is where you need to be. 1 day, 2 days, or 4 days. I think there's like 6 spots or 8 spots left for the 4 days. Get it? Because we only take 20. That is it, because we want the quality of that group to be what it always has been. Discipline on that. Cool? All right. What else is coming up? Next week, I'm in Texas. That's right. So my Texas, I was able to talk to Master Machado, and he is the godfather of modern BJJ, the godfather of modern BJJ. And I'll be out there. And I chose to go out there as Brannon Beliso because I want to get to know people as me, as the consultant, as the advisor, as the visionary. I think it's a really good kinship because I run my school based upon great art, great profit, right? Great art, great profit. Now, of course, that's negotiable. Anyone says their art is great. But if it's great to you and you think it's a great art, you should be making great money. If you believe you're a great teacher, you should be making great money. So I get to start my time. Me and Master Machado are going to work out together in the morning. Yeah, very cool. I get to work out with him one-on-one. We're going to hang out in the gym. I'm going to follow his weight routine. Whatever weights he's lifting, I'm going to lift right along with him. And we're going to hang out and have some breakfast together and just talk stories. We had a 30-minute phone conversation and it was just magic. When you just know. And again, with Master Machado, I had that same type of kinship instantly with Teho Kwan, I think the 1998 gold medal in the Olympics in Taekwondo. And we just hit it off. This guy had me eating bug soup by the end of the night in some Korean karaoke place. He's just so cool. And I love that. That's what I live for. Marco. I love Marco. I love Jason, Monique. I'm about the relationship. The money will make. That's the easy part. You don't realize that yet if you're struggling, but the money's the easy part. But to be able to have relationships of value, relationships with people that you love, like Jason Smith. I love you, sir. Are you there? Is Jason there? Flash it up there, Marco. I can't see the little ones anymore. Oh, I'm getting blind. If you're here, say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. All right. Make sure you're saying hello to us. And that's what I think is really my wealth, right? I saw that somebody posted a video. People want to know what my revenue is with all my companies and my homes and my real estate portfolio. He says to tell you what my real net worth is. He said his family. I agree. My friends. I agree. I totally agree. So if you got to do life with anybody, why not do it with a group of people that you care about and you love? And we can celebrate making lots of money. Because the byproduct is, if you're a small business owner and you can't scale and monetize what you do, then it's a hobby business. Call it what it is. Get a day job, work 9 to 5, right? And be okay with it. I have a lot of friends here in the Bay Area that work day jobs and teach out of a small club with under 100 students. But be clear, that is your version of success. That's his version. I want to know that because Wes, you're here today. And Wes is my newest wisdom friend because we're going to develop a friendship. And know that what is your version of success? Not mine, not anybody else's. And one of the first things I said to Wes was, I want you to sit and have a good conversation with your wife. How many consultants do that? It's like, what? Right? Because what is your version of success? What does that all look like? Really, what does that need to be? And then it's my role as your advisor to help you create that, not tell you got to do it my way. No freaking way. I have lots of clients that don't do rotating curriculum. I've had clients that do contracts. That's irrelevant. What's important is that I serve you based upon your needs. But if you don't know what they are, then through discovery, we can figure that out. Cool? All right. So what's today all about, man? Today is all about how to open a second location. This works with opening a first location. Makes no difference. Okay. And if you have questions, put them in there. Make sure Marco throws it up really big on the screen so I can see without my glasses. So it all starts as a dream. We understand that. It's a dream. I love martial arts. And like I said to Wes the other day, I'll say to everybody here, you got to mine the data. Why did you decide to enroll in the martial arts? Well, my parents would maybe do it. Okay, that's a starting point. Why did you choose to earn a black belt? Oh, my parents wouldn't let me quit. Okay, great. Why did you choose to be an instructor? It was built into the upgrade program. Okay, great. But at some point, you chose to make martial arts your life. Why? Because on the worst of days, when I have 3 people calling sick and I teach 5 hours of classes and I got to drive the after school van and then we turn around and have to refund somebody money because it was from pre-COVID and they never used the class card for kickboxing and I'm negative that day, I better freaking love what I do. But the yin to the yang of that, don't let that love be this blinder where you suffer for your art, right? I remember that as a musician. I would sit on the corner of Haight and Ashbury with the guitar case open, playing for pennies and dollars, playing the songs that I wrote. The minute I signed a major record deal, all my friends said I sold out. No, I didn't. The only difference between the song on the corner of Haight Ashbury and what now is I get paid. That's it. So the love stayed the same, and it continues that way today. It continues that way. So that's the biggest thing. It starts as a dream. And what is that why? Because that why becomes your purpose, becomes a brand. Mine is one martial arts. One is another word for God. One is we're all one people, we're all equal. One is the number one acronym for excellence in business and every company. That's why there's medical one, club one. So a brand is really, really, really important. Talk to Apple, talk to Nike, talk to Disney, on and on and on. So you need to cultivate a brand, and that brand is born out of the dream and the why. Okay? The dream, the why, purpose statement, brand colors, whatever 3 brand colors you're going to be, because you can't be this hodgepodge. And I was challenged by that working with another school, auditing him. And for the lack of a better, I'll just use lame examples. He had panda karate for pre-K and da-da-da-da-da. He had gymnastics, something martial arts for the teens. He had some kind of self-defense thing. And there were like 4 or 5 different logos in the window. He even had a major, manufacturer of martial arts supplies hanging on his wall. And I said, sir, there's no brand here. None. And then he was part of an association. So on top of it, he was part of one of these big associations. But yet the name of his school was something martial arts. And I said, sir, this is so confusing. It's like walking into McDonald's and someone's wearing a Burger King outfit. Somebody's wearing a Taco Bell outfit. Someone's wearing a Five Guys outfit. It is very confusing here. I don't get your brand at all, right? It's not a supermarket. It's not a buffet in Las Vegas. This is a standalone location, that you're trying to grow and earn trust in the community. I don't see it. I just don't see it, right? And then he was doing a self-defense a bully workshop coming up. And again, it was somebody else's brand. I said, I don't see it. Then I asked him this question, what do you have a black belt in? And his chest puffed out and he stood up strong, 3rd degree, WTF, Taekwondo, sir. I said, whoa, why aren't you teaching Taekwondo? Well, because I wasn't making money with it. No, I don't think the solution was adopting 4 different out-of-the-box programs that aren't really out of the box. There's a lot of work to be done in your doctor. So please create a brand. We have one color, I was sharing this, right? We don't have a blue shirt. We don't have a pink shirt. We don't have an orange shirt. This is our color. Black uniforms. We all wear black uniforms. We don't have built-in retail. So we don't have a blue one, a red one, a white one. We all wear black. That's it. We're a team. Imagine seeing your favorite sports team run out on the field in 20 different uniforms. It doesn't promote unity. So for me, a brand has to evolve around that. Okay? 3 brand colors, right? Yeah, baseball. 1 martial arts, right? We are what we are. But it's recognizable. And that was real important. I would recommend use the word martial arts. Definitely. If you go to Google, because of mixed martial arts and everything, most people don't search under Taekwondo. The 3 most searched though. No, let me back up. Stephen Reinstein and I had to talk about that. Karate, Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu. Those are the 3 most searched for martial arts by name. Everything else is under martial arts, right? And Stephen has that data. So again, I would recommend something martial arts. We're not Starbucks. It used to be Starbucks coffee. They dropped the coffee. Apple computers is just Apple. We are not at that echelon, right? So it's got to be something martial arts. Very self-explanatory. Focus martial arts. Believe martial arts. Resilient martial arts. One martial arts. I know it may not be too colorful, but it gets the job done. It does. But what drives it home is your tagline, right? Ours is live your best life. Nike? What the heck's a Nike? What the hell is that? Some Greek mythical god, Nike? It was the just do it. Just do it. That helped people do what? Not buy into your brand, believe in your brand, believe in it. And we're in the best position to do that. The challenge is culture. We hear that a lot. It's so trendy. Culture, right? Culture. Cult. It's the first 4 letters. Be careful. You center your brand around your ego and you. Everything is, Bob Smith's martial arts. Bob Smith is. How can you grow a team? How is that team ever expected to replace you on the mat, right? When they're always living in the shadow of this facade that you create because of your ego, right? So the brand, it's solid. Now, several books you need to read. E-Myth by Michael Gerber, Profit First by Michael Michalowicz, Good to Great by Jim Collins, Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh, The Mindset by Carol Dweck. And I could go on, but those would be the main ones because the mindset, last one first, the mindset is what most small businesses suffer from. Fixed mindset, stagnant mindset, victim mindset, excuse-driven mindset. If you do not live in a growth mindset, you're going to become obsolete at some point. Can you say Blockbuster? I remember Blockbuster was laughing at Netflix. Blockbuster's gone. Netflix dominates, right? The list goes on and on and on and on. Sears and Roebuck, gone. Target, Walmart, dominant. So be mindful. If you live and die in a fixed mindset, then that's exactly what's going to happen. So every day, that one component of personal development is a big part of what I do as a mentor. Your mindset is everything, because right now, most of you are small school owners. You probably teach. You probably clean the school. You're probably responsible for social media. You probably even do your own freaking books. All of it. I get it. So your mindset is imperative. You've chosen to do the hardest thing in the world possible, and that's to open a small business. But you want to be one of the 20% that make it, or one of the 80% that's guaranteed to fail? Your call. Or even worse, you suffer in mediocrity and you create a job for yourself and you're a terrible boss. Stop it. So mindset investment is big, 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 big. And then studying businesses outside the martial arts industry. There aren't, for me, a lot of great examples of what I wanted to do. Because everything, when I decided to open a school 23 years ago, was contracts, upgrades, belt testing fees, master's club, black belt club. We are a black belt school, right? And that never resonated at a heart level. But see, I was very clear about my core values, right? My core values. So the thin line with that, because who tells me what to do other than my wife and Uncle Sam? Nobody freaking tells me what to do. So I got to wake up every day and make or break it. That's the way it goes. So managing my mindset and living in a state of humility and gratitude is imperative. So I'm always learning, I'm always growing, but I'm taking in the right information to fulfill my version of success. If it's about making money, drug dealers make some of the richest people in the world. I'm not studying his business model. It doesn't fit what I want to do, right? But I can borrow from Apple Computer, Disney, Nike, these companies. Apple, through all of this, the pandemic, everything is still kicking butt. Apple is just like, bam, look at their stock. And I own lots of Apple stock, right? Fixed mindset. I grew up on welfare and food stamps. Now I invest in the stock market every day, right? So everybody can learn, but you have to recognize that you have to be teachable. You have to get into that state. When the student is ready, the master will appear. Not always. I've worked with people that were never ready for what I did, and they just didn't do the work, right? You got to know it. And that comes down to deciding that you're worth it. It works when you work it, so work it because you're worth it. Borrowed from NA, great statement. Know that you're worthy of success. Cool? Business plan. One of the most over things. Come on. You're going to open a second location or a first location, and you're not going to do a business plan. That's insane. Well, it's all hypothetical. Why would I do it? Because if I go to a bank and I can show projections for month 1, 6, 12, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, I invest money into startups. All of it's hypothetical. But they come to me with models. Like when I opened my second location, I had no data that I could be successful with a second location. Zero, because I only owned one. But what I did do was use my friends on the East Coast Top Kick. At the time, they had 5 schools, same household income, same basic demographics, same basic business model, no contracts or any of that. And I used that as my case study to bring to the bank. They gave me $325,000 in an SBA to open up the second location because I did my due diligence. I showed them I was a smart businessman. Because you're right, it's all hypothetical. But my projections weren't just some random number I pulled out of a hat. They were compared to what Top Kick did. You feel me? Who's with me on this, right? And then that SWOT analysis in a business plan. What are your strengths, right? What are your strengths? Well, I've been doing martial arts. I'm a 3rd generation small business owner. My dad's owned a martial arts school these many years. My first location makes this much money. I have a team built in that runs the first one so I can go grow the second one, blah, 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 blah. What are my weaknesses? Well, I say to everybody right now, if you get sick or hurt and can't work a day in your life, how long would it be before that school goes belly up? You want to be so bold and put it in the comments? Do that right now, right? Tell me, how long would that be? Average school under 6 months. So it is imperative, listen to me, imperative that you identify your weaknesses. What are your opportunities? Revenue, serving the community, impacting lives, growing this community, providing jobs for people. And then what are the threats? And threats, often go hand in hand with weaknesses. A demographic study in that business plan. How many, you can tell me right now, how many elementary schools are within a 3 to 5 mile radius of your brick and mortar location? How many preschools? How many middle schools? How many high schools? How many homes in your community? How many of those homes are filled with families? How many of those homes are filled with families with elementary school kids? And do they have the disposable income to pay you? All of that. All of that. Before I talked to Wes the other day, I went in and looked. Good community, white collar, average household income is 99K. That's pretty good. They can afford to put their kid in karate classes. There you go, right? So that's a good choice, Wes. So flush out that business plan because it'll teach you a lot about business. It will teach you a lot about business. When you do that type of research, that mundane homework, it really puts you in that business mindset. So do a business plan, please. Now, profit first. That's a big one for me. I think the challenge with most small business owners, you have one account. Money goes into it every month, right? Who has one account for their life and their business? Well, hopefully you have two, one for the school, one for your private, your personal. But most people put all the money into one account, pay all the bills, and whatever's left over, they live on. That is bad, bad, bad. Bad, bad. Can I say that? Bad. Bad. And I don't mean Michael Jackson bad. It's just freaking bad. Okay? So, first account, income. Second account, taxes. Third account, owner's compensation. Fourth account, profit. Fifth account, expenses. And that expense account is what you run your business on. You got me? You run that school on that business. Make sure of that. Now, money goes in. On the 10th and 25th, you fund the tax account. On the 10th and 25th, you take your livable wage, right? And if you're just starting out, you got to run lean and mean. And we'll get into that in a minute. Hold that thought for me, Marco. Lean and mean. If I don't come back to it, remind me. And then the fourth one is profit. If you don't start thinking profit, then you'll never have a profitable business. I don't care if it is one freaking dollar on the 10th and 25th. You get into the habit of creating profit in your business and the habit of taking that. Then you take that profit and put it somewhere. I have a portfolio. I put it there. That's my choice. I don't care if it's a CD. I wouldn't do a CD or any of that, but they're pretty high. They're like almost 5% right now, some of them, some of the bonds. But again, I prefer a stock market. And, God, I've done 181% this year. It's crazy. It's crazy. So that profit, again, it's shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And when you go back and read Michael Gerber's E-Myth, one of the things he says is totally wrong in small business is you have a technician with an entrepreneurial seizure. What does that mean? You're a technician. You love martial arts. You do martial arts. You might even teach martial arts, but you have no idea how to run a business and you have no interest in running a business. Well, you better reconcile that one really, really fast. Please reconcile that one really, really fast. Because if you don't understand and grasp that this is a business, in particular, I know you think it's sometimes blasphemous, martial arts business. Oh, my martial arts must not be tainted. I am an artist. Well, don't suffer from your art. Don't romanticize that. Not at all, right? Be very mindful of that. And that's why when people tell me a tree-hugging California kumbaya, make no mistake, we are extremely profitable. I am mindful of the money I make. I am mindful of the budgets. And Letitia keeps me in line. Today, Letitia keeps me in line. We make more money than most schools do in 3,700 square feet. I know that for a fact, right? At $1 million a year, 35% net per location. I know for a fact we make more money than most schools in our industry. Now people say you're a unicorn. BS. There was one time an iPhone was the unicorn. Now everybody has it. There was a time that an iPad was a unicorn, right? Who in the heck wants a tablet? Because they were creating something people needed before they ever needed it. Now it's common, it's household, right? I believe one day, and it's just me, I believe a purpose-driven, values-based company is going to dominate. Apple does it. Microsoft does it. Google does it. A lot of these tech companies are very mindful of what they do. They fall short sometimes. I'm not saying they're perfect, but their intent and a lot of their philanthropy revolves around that. Cool? All right. So we did the SWOT analysis. Got to do that. That demographic study is super important. I could never sell air conditioners in Alaska. I simply can't. There's no need for it. And a lot of people, why'd you open your school here? This is where I live. I don't care if this is where you live. Does this demographic support your product? Do they need your product? And are you telling the right stories where you position that business to do so? You got to fulfill a need and be the only person that can fulfill that need better than anybody else in that community. You with me? Okay, great. So we established the brand, the purpose, the why. We bear down on our mindset. We did our business plan, our SWOT analysis, lease negotiations. Please never go into any negotiations you're not willing to walk away from. I've seen many, many bad deals. Like, why did you do that? Right? Why did you do that? And I think it's really important that when you start into lease negotiations, make no mistake, hire a lawyer. Don't mess with that. Hire a lawyer. Do not sit there and negotiate with a landlord, right? Don't do that. Spend the money now or a lot later, because there's a lot of little things, and you got to look at state and county laws. You've got to look at, there's a lot of variables that go into it that you may not be mindful, and you're halfway into the build out, and all of a sudden they drop this in your lap, and you're like, whoa, I didn't have $10,000 to repaint the parking lot. Well, as the new client, it's state law that under ADA you must, upgrade to the latest ADA, requirements. Please promise me you will get a lawyer in all your negotiations. Okay, be mindful of that. And of course, you want to do your due diligence. Right? Get a commercial real estate person. Know the comps, know what's going on, and understand how much you're going to buy it off. When I opened Millbrae, this is super important. Write this down. Ideally, now this is an ideal world. I didn't have this with the first location. In an ideal world, you open up with 1 year of full rent. You open up with 1 year of full payroll, and that could be your livable wage. You open up with 1 full year of marketing budget. You open up with 1 full year of all expenses, toilet paper, lights, cleaning supplies, everything. You open up with 1 full year of covering your own personal expenses. I know. People say, well, that's not realistic, right? If it's not realistic, try to get close to that. I'm telling you, I opened the first location with $40,000 of money. That was between 4 or 5 friends. I hustled. I worked. It was crazy. It was crazy. And I had 100 students when I opened the door, which was the smartest thing I did before I opened. But other than that, don't open a school with $40,000. It's crazy. Might have worked in 2000, but it's much harder now. So when you're doing that business plan and you're writing out that budget, please be mindful of that. If you can fund all of those things so you're not stressing out each month, and you can really think like a farmer, right? A walnut tree doesn't yield profit until like 7 years or something, I believe. Marco, double check that. I say that all the time. I could be totally wrong. How long does it take for a walnut tree to grow to maturation to produce walnuts that can be picked and sold? Put that in there for me, Marco. And if you have a question, put it in. Because Michael Gerber said this so well. I took a seminar with him for an hour and a half a couple weeks back, and he said, a customer will buy from you once. A client will buy from you again and again and again. So if you're a sales-based company with sales scripts and all that stuff, customers will buy from you once. I don't want you to buy into what I do. I want you to believe in what I do. Let's see. It all begins with planting a sapling. Well, how long does it take to grow the sapling? 5 to 7 years. Okay, great. 5 to 7 years. But even the sapling, how long does it take to grow a big sapling, a walnut tree sapling? Right? So about 7 years. So I wasn't wrong. So, with that said, I want to have the comfort of really cultivating relationships, because those are sustainable. They're built on trust. They're based on people believing in each other. And those are what you grow with, right? And it's on your end. Make no mistake, it's not personal, it's business. Knock that off now, right now. My wife, every year, I buy the candy at Costco, and she makes the little snack bags that we give out the trunk or treats and all that. And I went out there, and there's a whole bag of Almond Joy. Marco, check this out. There's a whole bag of Almond Joys. And I said, babe, She goes, well, when they make these bags of candy, they throw in the crappy candy, lots of Almond Joys. There's only a handful of Twix and Kit Kat and da 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 da. I said, what? The kids don't care. But you hear what I'm saying? For my wife, she wants to do the right thing and give this kid a nice balanced bag of chocolate and Sour Patch and whatever. Come on. Who's going to really give a crap if you have 3 or 4 Almond Joys? That's not the point. That's our mindset. And that's the mindset to success, right? Now I got a whole bag of Almond Joy. I don't know what to do with. Maybe we'll donate them to a senior center or something. But we got a whole bag of Almond Joy. And she won't give it out because she want to fill a kid's snack bag with 10 Almond Joys. Brilliant, right? But that's the difference. I pick up the after-school kids a couple of days a week, right? And that's almost over, but so I'm going to miss that. But I'll do it today. And guess what I do? I bring a little bag of snacks for them to eat in the van on the short drive to the school. Why? Because it's values, added value. If I could tell anybody opening a new location, that's why you want budget. Because if you're desperate and you're cutting corners and you're not refunding money, and you're doing all these things because you're in a state of fear, because you think you're going to be one of the 80% that fail in year 1 to 3, then you're going to be in a really bad place. And every day you're going to go to work with that mindset. And the law of attraction, you project that, it comes back. It does. It simply does. So I will bring a bag of treats when I pick up the kids today. And there you go. Something as simple as I do not walk out of the instructor's room unless I'm in full uniform. I do not. I don't walk around my belt around my neck before I go to the bathroom. It's a discipline. It's a discipline. And that's a big part because other than Uncle Sam and maybe your significant other, nobody tells you what to do. So you are left to your own devices. And when you're insecure in a state of fear, ego takes over and you make really poor decisions. Really poor, really poor. And that needs to change, right? That needs to change. So next, of course, diving into our core products. What are you teaching? Who's your demographic? For most of us, it's kids, right? Predominantly kids. So it's a mom with a 6-year-old kid. What do they need? Do I fulfill that need? If I broke down my curriculum, is it age specific, skill level specific? Is it very clear goals? Can the mom see progression from white to the next belt, to this belt, to black? Is it very clear? Do you have instructional videos? All of it. And what is the brain of your business? We use My Studio. That's our CRM system. We communicate in there, post events, manage belt ranking, everything. Everything happens in My Studio. Everything. So we want to be mindful of that. Okay? Be very mindful of that. Now, like I said to Wes yesterday, if you've got the lease secure and they're doing a build out, hang a sign instantly in the window, grand opening with QR codes for people to sign up for trials. That means you need to have a schedule already so people can sign up for a trial and schedule themselves into a trial. If you have money and you have the budgets there, start running Google ads. Set up your Google business page right freaking now, right? Once you have an address, they've got to send the card there to verify you are an established business. See why the brand's important and the brand name's important? You're going to send them a freaking verification for your business and call it Pine Tree of the Left, side of the Earth, Moon, Sun martial arts? No freaking way. You want to come in strong. So that simple verification, you need a brick and mortar address to set up your Google business page because they'll send you the postcard with a little verification code. That's how they verify you are who you are. Google is the most prevalent right now. Everybody, I want you to search for the best Chinese restaurant in your community. Go. Okay, where did we all search at? Where did we search? Yeah, we give out Airheads too, but we give out lots of chocolate. I mean, we go big. I've been to Costco twice already, Bob, and I've spent about $1,500. No kidding. But we're doing 2 trunk or treats. Here's an angle. This is off the subject really quick, but we're going to put these really cool snack bags together, take a picture, post them at next door. So it's not a handful of candy. It's freaking a pretty robust snack bag. And we're going to post a picture of it and say, hey, you guys, if you're in the neighborhood on Halloween, come by One Martial Arts, both locations, because it's residential / retail. It's got a mix. So I believe people are going to be coming to us, especially when they see that bag. And then, of course, we do that same bag, Bob, at our home with the cotton candy machine. We literally have hundreds of people for hours in front of our home. And when I posted that at next door, oh my God, it's crazy, crazy. So those are some of the things. Of course, we have several trunk or treats to do this year, on and on, on and on. Always Google. Yeah, there you go, right? Wes, we always Google. So setting up your Google page, it's not glamorous, but Google doesn't try to be glamorous. That's when you're in a Google ad, it's pretty boring, right? It's not as groovy as an Instagram or TikTok ad, but it is what it is. It wants trust. So it keeps it that way. The native environment of Google caters to that. So set up your Google page, start posting at your Google page, even to the construction, Wes, posting pictures of the construction. Here we're moving along, and you can put a link where they can sign up for a trial. That's why the website should be done in an order. The brand name is there. All that stuff has to be done. It should be done. All of it, right? The Google page, set up your Facebook page, because the more you're active at your Google page, the more you improve your ranking. And if you have old students, in Wes's case, get some reviews, get some 5-star reviews. You need at least 7 or 8. So those stars pop up, on the left side where your name is when people search for martial arts in your community. And then, of course, be methodic, right? Be methodic. At our Instagram, we use the highlight part of it to post the different programs. So you got to post a reel. I think it's a reel or a story. Then you can highlight it. So they know that if you look at our One Martial Arts, I learned this from Kin Creative, and I'm still working on it. But if you look at our One Martial Arts, I think San Francisco, I started doing the different programs in those circles. That is valuable. I saw some other guy that's going to be in Texas next week. And he has up top, because, you can't put your links at freaking Instagram, right? Other than the website. But it says there, who am I, where I'm going to be next. And there's a link, and it's just crazy. It's just so cool. I mean, I dig it. So I'm constantly learning. And that's the point I'm trying to make. If you are not going to become great at social media, you are screwed. That's it. Why? You are the storyteller of your business. If you're not actively working social media, then you've just knocked yourself out of the game. Now, I know there's big schools out there. I want 0 digital media, social media president. You are a freaking unicorn. You are a unicorn. If anybody didn't learn during the pandemic, we need digital marketing. I did. Before that, we boasted, no social media, no social media. We don't have that. No paid ads. Not in today's world. Not today's world. Now you got to budget mindfully. Be mindful in your budget and don't overextend yourself, but pay attention to that. Cool? That leads me to the next thing. So we talked about curriculum. If you don't have great curriculum, and I definitely encourage rotating curriculum, and if it's not age specific and skill level specific, please. Like I was telling Wes, we had 4 katas at white belt. That's crazy. Most of those katas sit up in year 4 now. We didn't abandon them. We just simply moved them around appropriately. So you want to be mindful. And if you're not rich in life skills and you work with kids, again, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Soccer, football, gymnastics, swimming, they don't go deep on life skills like we can. You need great life skills. And that's when I created Kids Love Life Skills, right? That's where that came out of. So I'm mindful of that. Please be mindful of that. What is your product? Does it serve the demographic that you've studied to understand? And are you positioning yourself, websites, social media, every which way, that you are the person they want to come to? Okay? You with me? Okay. So after curriculum and all that, then of course we want to talk about, the environment of your school. Now, any newbie that comes to me and says, well, what should I do? Well, I'm going to tell you what you should do. 1,400 to 2,000 square feet. Lean, and mean. Most of that school better be freaking mat space. Forget the mirrors. Don't spend money on mirrors, and go with IKEA furniture. Please don't lose your freaking mind and spend money. Now, when I was opening the second location, remember, I'd done $1 million a year since 2007. We were extremely confident on who we are and where we were. Plus, my wife and I had lived in the Millbrae community for a while. We were establishing ourselves with our own children. My wife was in the PTA and all those things. I knew with total confidence that I was going to be able to scale the second location to $1 million. I figured it was going to take 5 years. I did it in 3. I figured it was going to be 300 students at the end of year 1. We were at 285. But I had made a lot of mistakes and I knew what to do better. And I had the budget to survive for a year. So at the second location, I went with our prototype, the one we used in San Francisco, 3,700 square feet. Don't do that. Don't do that. 10-year lease with 2 5-year options. Don't do that. I was in a much different position. Okay, you see where I'm going with that? I would never advise you to do what I did with the second location when it came to that. Go lean and mean. If it's your first location, even your second, unless you're extremely established, you have systems in place, you've got a key staff that can fill both locations, you have bench strength, all of it. Then I would look at that. Okay. But I knew for us, if we came in, we could have a bigger footprint, bigger marketing budget, bigger everything, right? It's hard to put, freaking $5,000-$6,000 a month into your digital marketing for 2 locations if you're not making that kind of money. It's impossible, right? It just simply is. It just is. So I want you to be mindful of that. Lean and mean, 2,000 square feet. I would, at the most, maybe 3 years. And I would probably put in a clause for maybe another 3-year option. And I would get that rent as low as I can, do your comps, do your comparables. And if you can get the landlord to foot the bill down, even better. Worst case scenario, I paint all the walls. I go with IKEA furniture. My biggest expense will be mats. Do I need a full-on front desk and all that stuff? No, you don't. You need a kiosk with a big-ass iPad. Run it through my studio, check in, sell memberships, everything. What a beauty it was during the pandemic teaching in a parking lot. I was selling memberships through my phone, retail through my phone, attendance through my phone. It was just brilliant. Signing up for Parents Night Out through my phone. So a decent CRM system, because most of you probably can't afford a front desk person right now. You don't need a program director. You do not. Now, if you're solo, put 15 minutes between your classes. That's it. So you can go pee, drink some water, say hello to a parent, whatever. Have a sign. We're in the middle of a class. We'll be with you promptly at the end of this class. If you need, scan this QR code, sign up for a trial for youth karate, for your pre-K, adult, whatever. You don't need a front desk and you don't need a program director. If you're running 300 to 400 people through your school every day like we are, absolutely. We put front desk people there just as an ambassador a couple of days a week. I think we do it in Millbrae on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, in San Francisco a couple of days. But we don't do it, on one of the busiest days, Saturday. It's crazy, but we don't because we're so efficient. And the next level is to put that iPad so people can take their own attendance. It is, right? Empower the consumer. And I say that with confidence. Someone said, well, that's bad customer service. I bought a freaking car. I bought a Tesla, a whole freaking car through an app. I never talked to anybody until I went to pick up the car. It's a new world. It's a new world. It's a new world. Program directors are obsolete. We have none. We have an admin person that deals with billing challenges and stuff for both locations. They work out of a hub. Yeah, we have that. We don't have a program director. Nobody sits you in an office when you want to quit and try to refocus, remotivate. No, we don't do none of that. We do it on the mat. If we suck on the mat, we don't deserve your business. You with me? All right. So lean and mean, 3 years, 1,400 to 2,000 square feet, mats, best lighting, clean bathroom. Don't spare on that stuff. And then make sure that schedule is robust. White belts do not know you. So your schedule better be white belt classes 6 days a week. Because if it doesn't fit my schedule, I was talking to Kin Creative, the appointment setters, the other day, and they said it's really a bummer to spend all this time with somebody on the phone. And we find out the location's too far away for them, or the schedule doesn't fit, or they can't afford us. So we make sure our website, the information we give out, social media, everything is so robust that we're comfortable giving you our schedule. We're comfortable giving you our tuition fees. We don't say memberships. No. Tuition. And we even took it a step further, right, Marco? We say tuition investments because we are an environment of higher learning. We are not a gym. We are not a gym. We are not a gym. So call it tuition investments. And we'll happily give them the schedule, right? Schedule, how you can try it out, and how much it costs. Go to my website right now. But if you're a brand new school, don't freaking do that because they don't know you from Adam. And if they think your prices are too much, you've just been knocked out of the running. You've got to, again, there's a cold lead and a hot lead, right? You've got to spend that time. Oh, hang on. This is the bad alert. Sam is asking me, what is our total profit today? I did really well today in the stock market. Thank you, Sam. Sam On will be at It's Time Live Balance, and he'll be there virtually. And we've made it so people can buy in and just watch the virtual. If it's amazing to be sitting in my pajamas and make more money than I possibly could teaching. It's just crazy. It's crazy, but it didn't start that way. Understand that, and I work hard to achieve that. Okay, so don't think you're going to give Sam your money and set it and forget it. It just doesn't work that way. It just simply doesn't. And then, so going back to that white belt schedule, you guys, please, 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 right? Please make sure that you realize you have to have that flexibility. Remove the obstacle. Don't do 2 weeks in a uniform for $19.99. Don't do it. One free trial class, get them enrolled, right? But make sure they're test driving the product. You do this private one-on-one intro, then they get into the root class, and it's nothing like that intro, then you're full of it. That sizzle up front, nothing on the back end. In our trial, we spend 10 to 15 minutes with, about 15, 20, I should say, with the kid near the pony wall where the parent is. Then we put them back in the class. They start with the class, warm up, stretch, life talk. Then we work with them one-on-one, and then we put them back in the class for the end. So they get the product they're buying, and they get that little semi-private love to see the values of our culture and why they should be with us versus anybody else. Cool? So that's real important. And then, of course, events. I remember with Millbrae, I don't want this place empty. Rainy day, hit our friends up. Bring your kids down. We're going to play dodgeball, eat pizza. It's raining. I just wanted that place packed all the time, all the time. We did my son's birthday there, and we offered free birthdays to everybody in his kindergarten class at the time. You want it packed. We had the Girl Scouts every Friday. Troop this, troop that, Boy Scouts this, troop number this, troop number that, every Friday for confidence building. You're paying freaking rent anyways. And if you have it in the budget, that rent's paid for a year, your personal expenses paid for a year, market and all, you can do that Friday night, invest in that relationship and build a rapport. You go by a restaurant that's empty, you don't want to go in and eat. You look at one that's packed, it makes you curious. Please pack your freaking school with everything and anything. I kid you not. So I was very mindful of that too. And then I remember in that beginner schedule, the guy who doesn't work with us anymore, he goes, Professor, you got 3 beginners on Monday and Wednesday. You got 10 on Tuesday and Thursday. And then you've got, 5 on Friday night and 5 on Saturday. Why don't we just bunch them all up and do them on Tuesday and Thursday? Because it may not fit the freaking schedule. That's it. It may not fit their schedule. So you have to give the beginner the flexibility. My black belts, they got 2 choices. Tuesday and Thursday at 6:30. That's all they get. There's no discussion. That's it. But they're committed to us. They will work their schedule around us. You with me? All right. So what's that comment I had, Marco? Did I go back and cover it? Did I go back and cover that, Marco? Did I, Marco? Man, lots of people here. Who are you? I see Facebook user, Facebook user, Facebook user. Give me some names. Name of your school where you're tuning in from. Yeah, Bob, I think that's a good idea, but follow me on this, okay, Bob? The standard, right? Right now I'm doing this with Miss Monique, and it's brilliant because when I opened up San Francisco, I had 100 students. I was teaching at 3 different health clubs, the Park and Rec, and 3 different martial arts schools. So when I left all those environments, I had 100 students to open my door. That's a great luxury. So, Bob, if you're trying to grow your name in a community, you're teaching at this Park and Rec, but eventually, because it's cheaper, right? You're teaching there. It's hard to brand because you deal with what's there and you can't set up your colors and your brand. You can't create this controlled environment, right? So that's the downfall. Do I think it's a great place to build your name? Yeah, absolutely. But at some point, you need to transition out. Otherwise, it can become this Achilles heel, Bob, and you're stuck. You're stuck there in this vicious loop that nobody's going to pay you more than this. So at some point, you got to completely abandon that school system. I know people do it, no, it's a feeder system. And then they do graduation at our school, blah, 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 blah. But there'll be a certain kid, as long as you're staying in that Park and Rec, they will never leave. And if they hear through the grapevine, they can get you at the Park and Rec for half the price. They will never be curious or want to investigate why coming to your brick and mortar location is so much better. So I think it's cool, right, in the beginning, but at some point you got to abandon it. Like that's what Monique's doing, right? She has people teaching in a couple of schools so they can build a rapport and build a name. So when they do open their brick and mortar location, they already have a name in the community. I agree with that. I totally agree with that, Bob. I would just be mindful, Bob. What is my strategy for that all the way until the end? Okay? All the way to the end. Cool. So I know we've covered a lot of ground. We haven't even got into the grand opening. That's a whole nother conversation. I hired a leasing agent to represent me when seeking a lease. Yeah, and he saved you so much. Good. Yep, I got concessions. Good. Yeah, absolutely, right? But I get it. I'm a black belt. I freaking know everything. I am a freaking black belt and I freaking know everything. Jason, what's happening, sir? Are you going to be out in next week in Texas? Are you going to be there for the Machado event? Ah, there's Miss Monique. What's up, Miss Monique? Eric, what's happening, sir? Good to see lots of new faces and old faces as well. So, and we haven't even talked about the grand opening. Lots of takeaways, and it'll take me forever to go over them. I would encourage you watch this one. Even if you're a seasoned school owner, watch this one again and again and again. Promise me you're going to share it with as many school owners that could benefit from this because you got to pay it forward. Please pay it forward. You know, something as simple as me going, babe, can we take these almond joys and donate it to the senior center? Pay it forward, right? Buy someone Starbucks behind you in line and walk out, right? All of those things, paying it forward is so important. Everything from Buddhism to Catholicism, every spiritual practice will talk about you want the law of abundance, pay it forward, right? My grandmother would do that. You know, she'd sit there with like, you know, so little, but feed all these people and you just would get less, but everybody got fed equally. That was super important. My grandma really drilled that in my head. And growing up poor, that was a feat to accomplish, right? Getting everybody fed. So share this. Share this. And if you're going to be in Texas next week, I'm going to be there on Friday. I'll be there for a couple of days, but I'm leaving Friday. But I'm speaking on Friday at 9:40 a.m. at the Carlos Machado Jiu-Jitsu fall weekend training. I'll be there. So if you're in Texas for that, join me for that. It's time live balance. We only got like, I think it's 6 spots now for the 4-day spot. Go and throw that up there, Marco. So that's November 11th through 14th, right here, Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from SFO. You guys that have to be at your school on Monday, I get it. Come Saturday and Sunday to get Dave Kovar's instructor training. Sunday is all business, freaking business. You need to move from the fixed mindset of a strict martial artist, get some business learning. And then if you can stay for 4 days, Monday is all personal development. Like I was talking to Wes, it's normally my mindset that stops me from achieving my version of success. Tuesday, wealth building with Sam On. You know, Benihana's, we're going to eat big. We eat big the whole time. Oh my God. Even with all the walking and stuff, I feel like I put on 10 pounds. And then Tuesday's all about strategically planning for 2024. Invest in it, please. Everybody who's ever come to it, Miss Monique, Marco, Jason, James Walker, I mean, anyone who's here, share with people the value of coming to the 4-day event. It's not the glitz and glam of Vegas. It's nuts and bolts. Put your nose to the grindstone and work the way you do every day in your freaking business. It is. It really is. Because I think that whole Vegas thing is such an illusion. You get bombarded with so much imagery, like at a, Tony Robbins event. And you walk out into the foyer and everybody and their mother's selling you a program, right? That's what they do. What the hell does Pitbull have to do with me being the best version of me? Nothing. But if you get me in this state with endorphins, with music and lights and bombard me and wear me down after 3 days, 16 hours a day, I'm a zombie. I'm a freaking zombie. I'll walk out into that lobby and buy whatever you tell me to. You feel me? We don't do that. I refuse to do that. I'm real about what we do. I'm honest about what we do. And we're authentic with what we do. You see firsthand in the school, what we do and what it takes. May not be your version, but it should at the minimum inspire you on the unlimited potential if you just move from a fixed to a growth mindset and cultivate that. Let's thank our sponsors. Tusa, right? They are the ones who supplied the Olympians with Taekwondo uniforms and equipment in the Olympics. I am so proud to be partnered with them. Market Muscle, Stephen Reinstein off to Okinawa, training twice a year. Brilliant man, good soul. I call him a kid, and I kind of look out for him like a son. My studio, last I talked to he's in freaking Africa. on a missionary mission. Talk about paying it forward. Kids of Life Skills, Marco, Amy, Letitia, Ben, Chris, myself, good people, life skills education at the highest. You need it. And of course, LC Accounting. Can't wait to test my sister for black belt next month at its time on Friday. If you're coming in early, she'll do her black belt test with Jason Smith. And I love her. Without my sister, I don't know, honestly, and I don't like to say that leaves me vulnerable, but I will. I don't know where I'd be without her. She really helps keep my budget with the scale and the level that we're at money-wise. It's wonderful to have somebody as level-headed as her in my corner. And she's a martial artist, so she gets us. So if you're looking for bookkeeping, do see her. You're going to get signed up for It's Time Live? Make sure you do that. Promise me you will share this broadcast with somebody opening a school, with your martial arts groups that I'm not a part of. Get it out there. I hope to see you on November 11th through 14th right here. It's Time Live Balance, 5 minutes from SFO, Millbrae, California, with me, Terry Lee, Dave Cover, Adam Lodi, and of course, all of you, because without you, this wouldn't happen. I'm Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, please, you go out there, live your best life.